Lifestyle Success Saturday, and I'm so excited about this topic because as a life coach, as a business coach, this is where I start with all my clients. And here's what you need to know. Your self-image is going to determine your success. So whenever I start working with a new client, whether it's life coaching or business coaching, this is where I start. This is home base, okay? I need to know what are your perceptions of yourself before we move forward, because that's going to determine how far along you actually go during the process of our working together. And so I thought I'd make a video on it because it's uber important. I read this book years ago. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Of course, I'll put all of the information in the description box below. And then I recently picked it up again. If you don't like to read, don't worry, there's Audible for that. Dr. Maltz said that everything you feel, everything you do, all of your behaviors will always be consistent with your self-image. So this concept of self-image is the beginning of understanding psycho-cybernetics. And psycho-cybernetics is a very long word, I'm gonna try to explain it. But a cybernetic mechanism measures the standard deviation from a goal. Again, a lot of big words. So I'm going to give you an example. Your thermostat is a cybernetic mechanism, meaning that it's winter right now. So let's say you have your thermostat set at 68 degrees. If it's colder in the house than 68 degrees, then communication will be sent from your thermostat to your furnace or your heating unit, automatically kicks on, hot air blows in the house until it gets back to 68 degrees because it is measuring the deviation. So if your thermostat says, oh no, it's 66 degrees, automatically your heater's gonna cut on to get it back to 68 because 68 is your fixed point, right? So what Dr. Maltz says is that we all have a cybernetic mechanism inside of us. It is called our mind. Whatever we perceive to be true about ourselves, like that is our fixed goal. And we can only go so far before mechanisms start to kick in and communication systems start to cut on so that we get back to the set point goal. And so I'm gonna give you a practical example. What happens when somebody loses a ton of weight? Okay, 65 to 80% of those people will gain all of the weight back. And I think that they gain the weight back plus like 2 or 3 pounds, I guess, for insurance. It's because you can change the outside, you can change your physical appearance, but if you haven't changed the inside, if you don't change your self-image of yourself, then a lot of times we revert back to old habits that got us to where we were. And so those people will generally gain all the weight back because they haven't really changed their perception of themselves. People who win the lottery tend to go bankrupt. People who get out of jail tend to go back to jail. It's called recidivism. So in society, we see it all the time, and I'm here to tell you, like, you gotta change what you think about yourself. So last week we talked about SMART goals. I really was so excited about those of you who, not only the comments that I got in the comment section, but there were, I think, 5 or 6 of you that actually reached out to me via email and asked me questions about it, and I got to help you through creating some of your SMART goals, and I'm so excited and so thrilled that that video helped, because I think that once you decide what you want, it's a lot easier to actually make that happen. But this is gonna take it a step further. So if you did your SMART goals last week, think about what it is you want in life. Do you want to be successful? Do you want to make money? Do you want a new job? Do you want to graduate from college? Do you want a new car, a new house? Whatever that is, this is going to be the way to get it. Now, we're not taught this in school, guys, okay? Like in elementary school, you're taught how to memorize, you know, and then you go off to college and then you're taught how to analyze and how to solve problems. But those are only 2 aspects of what we can actually do with our brain. Like imagine having this super duper high powered computer, right? And no one ever teaching you how to use it. Or imagine having like a rocket ship and then you don't have a training manual. Like you're just supposed to go and like launch it and you don't know anything about how to run it. And I feel like that is what happens in our society. No one actually tells us how to use the power of our minds to get things done. We have the most incredible body and the most incredible system within our mind. Like the way God created it, I mean, it would make any smartphone, any supercomputer, any rocket ship look like a freaking toy. I mean, the electrical system that we have in our bodies is amazing. And you probably heard it before. We only use 20-25% of our brains, but imagine if you could tap into that unused portion to create this life that you've always wanted to live. I think it should be lived full of passion and full of purpose, but in order to do that, you really have to understand how your brain works and then use it to your advantage. So let me give you 2 examples. When I first started understanding psycho-cybernetics and self-image, I looked back on my life because I really wanted to look at different aspects of my life, finances, health, success, and I wanted to see how or if psycho-cybernetics or self-image played a part in those. So I thought back to a time when I was in high school and I was trying out for my varsity volleyball team, and I did not think that I was gonna make the team. Like, I didn't think I was good enough. We were getting this new coach. He didn't know me. I really did not think that I was gonna get put on this team, right? Like, all my classmates and people that had been playing volleyball before me, they were sort of demoted down to JV, and I was like, well, he's gonna demote me. There's just no way that I'm gonna get on this team. So surprise, surprise, I did make the team. But talent can only take you so far. Self-image has to do the rest, because I spent about 80 to 85% of the season riding pine. That's right, I sat on the bench. So at the end of the season, we had like a team banquet, and the coach got up and he talked about every person, and he was talking about me, and he said, now this person, during tryouts, I thought she was the best setter. I was a setter. It's the position. And I had her pegged as a starter. What? My coach said that during tryouts, he thought I was the best. I thought I sucked. And so he said, I don't know what it was, maybe a lack of self-confidence. And I think I stopped listening after that, because that is absolutely true. It was a lack of self-confidence. I didn't know, I had no idea that he saw this in me. I was just happy to be on the team. I was happy to be sitting on the bench, riding the bus with the big kids. I didn't know that he thought that I was that good. Had I had a different self-image, I'm pretty sure that season would have gone a lot differently for me. But it was because I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was gonna make the team, and the fact I made the team, I thought I was lucky. But my coach actually saw something a lot greater in me. Now, I wish he would have told me that not at the end of the season, because maybe it would have changed some things, but you kind of see the point that my self-image really did dictate how my season went. Conversely, I'm going to give you a time of when my self-image caused me to be successful, and I talked about this in a previous video, but when I was 6 years old, I taught myself how to ride a bike because I got on it and I just started pedaling. Like, I asked a girl to borrow her bike. She asked me if I could ride a two-wheeler. I said yes. Really, I couldn't, or I didn't know that I could because I'd never tried. I had training wheels on my bike, but I told her that I could. So I hopped on her bike, no fear, and made up in my mind that I could do this, and got on the bike, started pedaling, and the rest is history. And it's because in my 6-year-old mind, I thought that I could do anything. And I really do attribute that to, you know, my parents and them being very, very encouraging, especially my dad, because he was very much like, you can do anything, you're awesome. My dad died probably 3 or 4 months after that, so I do understand that not everybody has that sort of childhood or doesn't have that sort of encouragement, but I'm here to tell you that your past does not have to dictate your future. You absolutely can change your self-image. So maybe in the past you didn't have a great self-image and you didn't have people encouraging you and championing you and cheering you on, but I'm here to tell you, you can absolutely change that. And that's why I'm making this video, because I really want us to get very, very clear about where we are and where we're going, especially in 2016. So last week we did SMART goals. We know what we want. This week I want us to take a close look about where we are today. Take a look at your relationships, your finances, your bank account, your paycheck, your grades, the car you drive, the house you live in. All of those things, according to Dr. Maltz, are reflections and manifestations of your own self-image. And that may seem a little bit far-fetched and sometimes hard to swallow, because I've definitely dealt with this in trying to help my clients understand this, but I promise you, if you change your mind, you will change your life. Some people might find some external successes. It's like weight loss, or maybe you've always gotten C's, but now you've got an A on a test, and that's great. But if you don't change what's on the inside, there's something called the snapback effect, meaning that because a cybernetic mechanism, which is your mind, will measure the deviation from the set goal, it will always revert back. It's like a rubber band. Like, you can stretch it as much as you want to, but as soon as you let go and you stop dealing with it, then it goes back to its original shape. If you watched to the end, thank you. I hope that you got some really great information. This week, I'm gonna encourage you to just sit and think about where you are. Think about what you think about yourself. And I encourage people to journal. I think that clarity comes from engagement, not thought. So if you're spending time writing it out, really thinking, asking yourself questions like, what do I think about myself? What do I think about myself in this relationship? Or do I think I'm worthy of achieving XYZ goal? You'll start to notice that things are going to come up for you. That's a really important process for growth. I don't think that we spend enough time with ourselves and getting self-aware. So I'm going to encourage you guys to do that. Reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you want me to do a video on how to change your self-image, how to make your self-image match what it is you want out of life. I can definitely do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember that you're God's highest form of creation. You can absolutely create the life that you want, but it all starts with you. I'll see you next time. Take care.